Listen. Lean in. What I say now will not be soft. It will not be gentle. It will break what is fragile inside you so something harder can grow. Hear this like an incision, precise, unavoidable, surgical. There is a version of you that has been waiting behind the excuses, the soft habits, the apologies. It is not polite. It does not seek permission. It is cold, exacting, and inevitable. If you are ready to become that force, then accept the truth. Strength is not found, it is made. It is forged in cold solitude, tempered by repeated choices, and hardened against every storm. From this moment forward, you will stop drifting. You will stop pleading for validation. You will become your own sovereign. Wake up. The world does not owe you understanding, nor safety, nor adoration. It offers friction. It offers pressure. It offers betrayal. Those elements do not break the strong. They hone them. Imagine a steel blade, raw or dull, useless, placed into the roaring fire, hammered again and again, plunged into water, then heated, then hammered, until it rings with a sound that scares lesser things into silence. That is your soul when you take responsibility for everything that touches you. Not sometimes. Not on good days. Every day. Relentless. Mechanical. Precise. You will not plead for greatness. You will manufacture it. You will wake before the reasonable people stir, not because you are insane, but because the morning is where empires begin and mediocrity sleeps. You will do the work while others make excuses. You will climb while others scroll. Your discipline will be quiet, but unstoppable. Let the world mistake your silence for weakness. Let it. Silence is the camouflage of power. While they shout, you build. While they look for shortcuts, you lay bricks. While they beg for applause, you sharpen knives. The loud are noticed for a moment. The silent are remembered forever. Control your mouth. The more you speak, the more you leak. Each word is a currency you spend. Spend it only when it increases your value. Speak with length or you empty yourself. Speak with precision and your voice becomes a weapon. Let your face be unreadable, your tone measured. When you move like an object in nature that commands attention without announcing itself. A mountain, a still ocean, a wolf in the dark. The eyes that watch you must leave the encounter unsettled, unable to place where the power began and where it ended. That is influence. Do not be soft to your weaknesses. Call them by name. Sit with them until they beg for mercy. Fear, name it. Lust, name it. Procrastination, name it. Then design an unyielding plan to remove it. This is not therapy. This is warfare against your lesser self. You will not negotiate. You will disassemble the excuses one by one like a mechanic stripping a broken engine. Replace habits that betray you with rituals that serve you. Where willpower wanes, habit governs. Replace the lazy defaults with mechanical disciplines so severe they render choice irrelevant. You will do the thing because you are the kind of person who does the thing. No debate, no compromise. Master your internal weather. Emotions are weather. They pass. Do not let temporary storms dictate long-term strategy. When anger rises, observe it from above. When doubt whispers, listen only to the plan you have already written. You are not a puppet of feeling. You are the engineer of responses. Pause. Breathe. Calculate. A man who masters his breath masters his fate. In the moment between stimulus and reaction, a world opens. In that moment, choose the reaction that lines up with the destiny you intend to build. Do not be swept into other people's drama. Let their storms pass and keep forging. Make your presence a gravitational field. Carry yourself as if the room rearranges itself when you enter. Posture. Straight. Gait. Deliberate. Movements. Slow enough to show control, quick enough to show readiness. When you speak, lower the rhythm of your voice. Weight it like a sentence that drops anchors. Let every syllable feel costly. People do not follow panic. They follow calm that smells of certainty. Become a place of inevitability in every conversation. Others will feel it before they decide to lean in. Privacy is a weapon. You will not live your life on display. You will not give your enemies a map. Share less than they expect. Reveal nothing that can be used against you. Let your ascent be invisible until the weight of your results forces the world to notice. When you do reveal only altitude, results, triumphs, not the nuts and bolts of process. When you keep your method secret, you remain unassailable. When you make your movements unreadable, you own leverage. Scarcity breeds value. Your time, your words, your attention become rare commodities. Let people chase access. Let them hunger for what you withhold. That hunger yields power. Deploy tactical indifference. Not coldness born of smallness, but indifference born of mastery. If a slur seeks to wound, absorb it and convert it into resolve. If praise attempts to inflate, let it pass through you like wind across a stone. Your mood will not be owned by applause or insult. Your equilibrium will be sovereign. Those who try to disturb you must find an ocean. They will only create ripples. When others attempt to manipulate your feelings, let them find an empty fortress. They will be discouraged by the echo. Cultivate absolute honesty with yourself. Strip away the comforting lies. You are not entitled. You are responsible. You did not fail because the world was unfair. Perhaps you failed because you were lazy, cowardly, or distracted. Admit it. Own it. Then fix it. The man who refuses excuses becomes the man the world cannot break. You will inspect your performance like a general studies a battlefield map, without flinching, without indulgence. The only mercy you allow is the mercy of hard change. Act now. Procrastination is the graveyard of promise. Learn to predict human motion. People are patterns, not mysteries. They gesture, they breathe, they blink, tiny seams where intent leaks. Watch, learn, decode. The more you can anticipate, the less you are surprised. This is power. It does not mean you become cruel. It means you become effective. When you can see the turn before it comes, you may step aside, strike where necessary, or extract advantage in silence. Knowledge of another's pattern is leverage. Use it with dignity, not with malice. There is nobility in mastery. Forgo the theater of aggression. True dominance rarely raises a voice. It is subtle. It is precise. When you choose to strike, you strike surgical. Loud displays are for the weak who need attention to feel big. Quiet authority does not crave confirmation. It commands without request. This is the rule. The less you need to prove yourself, the more convincing you become. Let your results be thunder. Let the noisemakers be storms that blow over. Build walls around your focus. The world will try to seize little pieces of you. Time, energy, thought, until you are a hollow puppet. Protect your attention like a vault. Social media, celebrity gossip, gossip between colleagues, trash that dilutes your concentration. Cut it. Remove those who suck patience and purpose. The company you keep sculpts the future you will inhabit. Align yourself with discipline, with people who sharpen you rather than dull you. Cull gently but ruthlessly. Proximity matters more than affection when your destiny is at stake. Hoard your courage. There will be moments when walking away is the strongest action you can take. A man who clings simply because he fears solitude is weak. Learn to detach from outcomes without detaching from effort. You must be attached to the process, not the applause. There is incredible power in being able to leave a fight that costs you more than it gives. Withdraw when necessary. Reserve your strength like a battery. Deploy it strategically. Presence at the right moment beats presence at every moment. Train your mind to love boredom. Most men chase constant excitement because it masks emptiness. You will embrace the cold, steady grind. You will learn to sit in silence until ideas sharpen into strategy. Build rituals that are boring but brutal. Your morning, your training, your reading, your practice. Let the repetition do the heavy lifting. Greatness is carved by repetition, not fireworks. A man who masters monotony masters miracles. Beware of those who flatter. Flattery clings like ivy and eventually strangles the stone. When people flatter, they are mapping your soft spots for later. Encourage blunt truth instead. Create a small circle where honesty is the only currency. Let the voices aloud near your mind be the ones that cut you open when needed. You need less yes men and more blunt mirrors. In those mirrors, your worst tendencies will appear. In those mirrors, you will choose to correct. Hold your promises to yourself like laws. Every promise you break reverberates. It tells your nervous system you are negotiable. That fracture creates a cascade of small failures until your identity is eroded. A man who keeps his word becomes a man who cannot be bribed by fear or seduced by convenience. Keep your commitments even when invisible. Do the small things on time. They will grow into an unshakable architecture of integrity. Master your voice. The sound you make carries invisible currency. Speak slow when others rush. Speak low when others shout. Reserve emphasis for the moments that matter. Your cadence will be your armor. Practice silence as a skill. Learn to stretch it until others leak their weakness. A contained voice reads as a steady mind, and steady minds command followership. Convert pain into strategy. Pain is a teacher if you stop flinching. Take every humiliation and bend it into analysis. Ask, what did this teach me? What can I harvest from this wound? The highest alchemy is turning humiliation into plan, disbelief into evidence, suffering into engine. The man who does this will step forward while others melt into resentment. Pain becomes your fuel, not your ailment. Lean into strategic solitude. Solitude is not loneliness when used as a forge. In the quiet, the noisy illusions of the crowd fall away. You hear the secret maps of your mind. You rehearse hard conversations. You plan with no witness. Solitude gives clarity and clarity gives mastery. Do not fear being alone with your ambition. Embrace it. Let the world watch your absence and wonder. When you return, you will carry a new edge. Admire competence. Worship results. Do not be seduced by charisma that lacks backbone. The crowd applauds charm. The world rewards competence. Build capability like you build muscle. Incremental, methodical, unglamorous. Learn to love being the person others trust to finish what others start. Your reputation will become a pre-existing condition. Doors will open because people have weighed your presence and found it durable. Create invisible boundaries. Saying no is a sword. It clears your field. Do not be available to everyone. Your availability is value. Offer it selectively. Let scarcity do the work of seduction. People will behave better when they know entry is earned. That is the law of leverage. Make your presence costly and it will be treated as precious. Detach from identity theft by others. Many people will try to define you, by your past, by your mistakes, by your family or origin. Reject their appraisal. You are an author, not a headline. Write your chapters in silence, then publish them with force. Let the narrative of your life be constructed by actions, not gossip. If someone tries to box you in, refuse the crate. Move invisibly and reacquaint them with the facts. Cultivate the posture of inevitability. Live like your next victory is simply a matter of timing. That posture changes how people perceive you, not as a hopeful struggler, but as a scheduled conqueror. When others doubt, smile inwardly. You already know the work. Let others be frantic. Let them bargain with fate, while you stand and finish the task. There is a terrible magnetism in calm conviction. Practice strategic repentance. When you err, do so briefly, publicly if required, then vanish into action to rectify it. Prolonged apologies are a confession of incompetence. Short accountability followed by a long and visible correction restores power far faster than endless explanation. The world respects correction more than confusion. Find a cause that is unshakable and make it bigger than your vanity. Purpose is the engine that converts discipline into destiny. If your days are not tethered to a mission so large it eclipses petty distractions, you will always be subject to them. Aim at something that matters, an ideal, a craft, a family, but own it wholly. Purpose clarifies choices, simplifies sacrifice, and converts suffering into meaning. Refuse to be predictable. The predictable are prey. Change rhythms, timing, and modes of action. Appear at odd hours. Shift your schedule. Keep your competitors off balance. Predictability creates patterns they will learn. Unpredictability keeps them guessing until it is too late. Let your unpredictability be strategic, not chaotic. Stability internally, variability externally. This is the paradox of the powerful. Sharpen your listening. People give away maps of their intentions with their sighs, their jokes, their hesitations. When you listen to what is not said, the pauses, the omissions, the nervous laughter. Those gaps are the trenches where advantage hides. Listening is the stealth mode of leaders. The more you listen, the less you need to speak, and the more potent your few words become. Hold ego in reserve. Pride untempered by purpose becomes weakness. Use ego as fuel for refinement, not as justification for show. Pride that insists on being seen collapses when the world refuses the spectacle. Pride that is private, disciplined, and productive turns into excellence. Let your pride serve the work, not the applause. Use presence over argument. When someone insists they are right, do not debate endlessly. Show competence. Do the thing they cannot. The man who produces results shuts down the loudest critics because his reality trumps their rhetoric. Words are cheap. Results are currency. Accumulate them. Practice ruthless kindness toward yourself. That phrase may sound contradictory, but it is essential. Be kind in that you allow yourself the space to recover, to sleep, to heal. Be ruthless in that you do not tolerate excuses. Give your body what it needs to be useful. Sleep, nutrition, training. Then return to the cause with a sharpened mind. This is not indulgence. It is optimization. Control your fear like a trained beast. Let it sit leashed at your side as you move forward. When fear growls, it is warning. Listen. When fear tries to paralyze, it is a liar. Move anyway. The man who acts despite fear grows muscles in the soul. When fear controls you, you are prey. When you control fear, you become the weather. Understand the economics of attention. Where you place your focus is investment. Obstacles demand attention. Distractions steal it. Be brutal with your focus. Allocate time like funds, to high-return activities first, to maintenance second, to vanity last. Compound interest exists for attention too. Small daily disciplines compound into massive outcomes. Respect that power. Hold your narrative close. Public personas are tools, not prisons. You may present different faces to different rooms, but your core must be immutable. Inside that core lives the architecture of intent. Let your outward persona be shaped by strategic necessity, not by panic. Your internal script will remain true even as your exterior voice adapts. This is the art of adaptability without betrayal. Accept isolation as a strategic advantage. Many will mistake your solitude for weakness. Let them. Solitude is the laboratory of mastery. There, you rehearse, you plan, you fail, and you rise. Isolation allows you to dodge contagion. the contagion of low standards, of laziness, of short-term thinking. When you return to society, you bring a different currency, an uncompromised vision. Become a collector of small victories. Great transformations are built from micro-conquests. A morning without scrolling, a training session completed, a conversation handled with calm. Celebrate these as you would a field taken. They compound. Build rituals that honor these wins and refuse to minimize them. Each small triumph is a brick in the fortress. When betrayal comes, and it will, do not collapse into drama. Recognize the utility of disappointment. Betrayal confirms who is a liability. Remove them. Do not seek revenge that consumes you. Take strategic action that secures your future. Revenge that basks in emotion is Pyrrhic. Revenge that recalibrates your environment is surgical. Cut ties cleanly. Reallocate that energy into creation, not consumption. Anchor yourself in service to a standard. Standards are the bones of destiny. High standards attract better people, better opportunities, better outcomes. When your standards are unmovable, weak options fade away. Let mediocrity find its own place. You will not host it. In your presence, laziness will feel out of place. That is influence. Convert scarcity into leverage. When you withhold attention, when you make your time earned, others will value it more. Scarcity is not stinginess, it is strategy. Let your availability be a currency that only serious people can afford. You will be treated accordingly. Master the art of retreat. Retreat is not cowardice, it is recalibration. The greatest generals withdraw to preserve force for decisive moments. So must you. When the field is uncongenial, when the cost exceeds the returns, step back. Use the time to prepare. Return when advantage tilts. Victory favors the patient and the prepared. Command your story with ritual. Make daily acts sacred that align with your mission. Your routines will define you. Ritualization converts choice into habit and habit into identity. Commit to rituals that reinforce the person you intend to be. The disciplined riser, the reader of hard books, the man who finishes what he starts. Own your mortality. Nothing sharpens action like the awareness that time is finite. Live like you have less time than you think. This is not panic, it's clarity. Urgency without anxiety becomes a crucible for achievement. Decide today to remove what does not serve, to double down on what does, and to let the rest fall away. Finally, this is not a promise of easy transcendence, but of inevitable transformation if you are relentless. The unbreakable man is not made overnight. He is assembled through decades of small, uncompromising decisions. He is quiet, surgical, relentless. He owns his nights. He controls his mornings. He keeps his promises. He reads the room and the map. He holds his nerve. He becomes invisible when needed and startling when required. He is both wolf and king, instinct and strategy fused. So stand now, not because you are ready, but because you will become ready by standing. Take the small action that sets everything else into motion. Close the accounts that drain your time. Wake earlier tomorrow. Speak less and say more. Read the hard books. Cut the soft people from your proximity. Keep the ones who test you and teach you. Make promises to yourself and keep them like commandments. This is the creed. You will not be broken by chaos, by betrayal, by noise. You will be the eye in the storm. You will be the silent hand that moves mountains while men argue about the weather. You will not seek permission. You will issue decree upon your own life. You will take what is yours through discipline, clarity, and unrelenting purpose. Rise. Make your life a proof. Make your silence loud with results. Be the man who never needed permission to exist at his highest level. Be the force the world realigns around. Be unbreakable. No, unbreakable is not the end. It is the beginning. Because once you decide to rise, once you decide your existence will not be lived at ground level, the world begins to test you. Not softly, not gently, but brutally. Because the moment a man announces, even silently, even internally, that he refuses to remain ordinary, life responds with fire. People imagine rising feels like elevation. No, rising feels like pressure, like being crushed and forged at the same time. Like every weakness inside you is suddenly exposed under a harsh, merciless light. You rise, and life asks, "Are you sure?" You rise, and the world whispers, "Let's see." You rise, and doubt begins to circle like wolves around a wounded animal. Your past clings to your ankles, trying to drag you down into the person you've always been. Your fears start screaming louder than your ambitions. Your excuses start dressing themselves as logic, as reason, as practicality. And yet, you continue, step by step, breath by breath, silent, relentless, terrifyingly focused. You continue because something deep inside you knows this truth. The man you are becoming is worth every part of you that must die. The laziness must die. The comfort must die. The softness must die. The need for approval must die. The weaker you, the one addicted to safety, the one terrified of judgment, the one who hides behind distractions, he must be buried without mercy, because the world you are entering does not reward the half-hearted. Look around. Every great man you admire, every leader, every conqueror, every unshakable figure, they paid a price you have not paid yet. They walked through darkness so thick, it could have swallowed them whole. They lived seasons of isolation, where the only voice they heard was the echo of their own doubts. They faced failure so devastating that ordinary men would have broken permanently. But that is the difference. Ordinary men break. Extraordinary men bend, only to snap back stronger, sharper, more dangerous. Understand something. Life will not hand you power because you want it. It gives power to the man willing to bleed for it, to the man willing to sacrifice who he was, for who he must become, to the man willing to walk alone, because he refuses to walk backwards. And this loneliness, this cold, isolating ascent, is not punishment. It is initiation. You are not losing people. You are losing illusions. You are not losing comfort. You are shedding weakness. You are not losing directions. You are discovering your true compass. You are entering the version of life where you are no longer guided by emotions, but by clarity, where you are no longer pulled by fear, but pushed by purpose, where you no longer ask, "What will they think?" but instead ask, "What does my destiny require?" Because that is the level you must operate at, a level where feelings bow to discipline, where excuses suffocate in the presence of your standards, where you do not need motivation. You move because you are wired to move, because stillness feels like death, and progress feels like oxygen. You wake with intention. You walk with awareness. You speak with precision. Your silence becomes your dominance. Your presence becomes your pressure. People watch you change and feel threatened. Let them. Their discomfort is proof of your evolution. Their insecurity is a side effect of your growth. Their fear is the sound of your old environment, realizing it can no longer contain you, and you must not shrink to soothe them. You must not dim your intensity to make others comfortable. You must not apologize for outgrowing realities that were built to keep you small. Instead, you move with the quiet confidence of a man who knows something the world does not. You are not done. You have barely begun. Every day becomes a battlefield against the weaker version of yourself. You wake up and fight the thoughts that whisper, "Rest. Not today. You've done enough. You deserve a break. You're tired." And you respond with the voice of a king. "I am building a life that demands a stronger version of me. Rest will not come before results. Comfort will not come before conquest." You train your mind until discipline feels more natural than desire. You train your body until strength becomes your default language. You train your focus until distractions feel repulsive. You train your presence until you can walk into a room silently and still shift the atmosphere. This is not arrogance. This is earned power. This is internal gravity. This is the consequence of choosing yourself at a level most men are afraid to even imagine. And as you rise, something strange begins to happen. Life stops resisting you, not because it gets easier, but because you get harder. You stop reacting emotionally. You respond strategically. You stop forcing things. You attract them through mastery. You stop chasing validation. People begin seeking yours. You stop proving your worth. Your existence demonstrates it. You reach a point where your name carries weight, where your actions carry certainty, where your silence carries authority. You become the man other men notice, the man other men question, the man other men analyze silently, the man they cannot categorize, because you operate at a frequency they have never experienced. Your past cannot touch you. Your fears cannot slow you. Your limits cannot hold you. Your doubts cannot poison you. You become a storm, calm on the outside, cataclysmic within. People feel the shift. They sense something in your presence that commands respect, that demands attention, that forces them to reevaluate every assumption they had about you. And the truth is simple. You did not change. You returned to who you were always meant to be, before the world convinced you to be less. This journey is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering the power you buried to survive, the ambition you silenced to fit in, the sharpness you dulled to keep the peace, the greatness you suppressed to avoid judgment. Now, you reclaim it, piece by piece, day by day, rep by rep, choice by choice, sacrifice by sacrifice, until the man staring back at you in the mirror is unrecognizable to your former self, but recognizable to your destiny, because the man you are becoming walks differently, speaks differently, thinks differently, feels differently, moves differently. He is not desperate. He is deliberate. He is not impulsive. He is intentional. He is not emotional. He is controlled, calculated, compelling. His discipline is terrifying. His ambition is steady. His silence is sharp. He is the kind of man people tell stories about when he leaves the room, not because he is loud, but because he is undeniable. This is where your rise leads, not to applause, not to validation, not to public praise, but to a private reality you built with your own discipline, brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice, a reality where you do not flinch, where you do not fold, where you do not fear, a reality where your life becomes the proof, your success becomes the evidence, your presence becomes the message, your results become the volume. because you did not just rise. You ascended, and ascension is different from achievement. Achievement is reaching something. Ascension is becoming something. You are not reaching a goal. You are becoming the kind of man. Goals revolve around. You are not chasing opportunities. You are becoming the kind of man. Opportunities pursue. You are not fitting into the world. You are becoming the kind of man. The world must adjust itself to accommodate. This is your path. This is your calling. This is your fire. This is your proof. And the world, whether it understands it or not, is already beginning to bend beneath the weight of the man. You are becoming. Keep rising. Keep sharpening. Keep building. Keep evolving. Keep destroying the parts of you that were never meant to survive the journey. Because you are not done, and you will not be done, until every inch of your life reflects the power you chose to claim. Master the art of unhurried fury. Fury used theatrically is waste. Fury directed like a scalpel is art. You will build plans so tight that a single strike renders days of opposition obsolete. Create redundancies for your missions. Anticipate the pitfalls and make them irrelevant. The world loves improvisation, but true power prefers rehearsal and precision. When the time comes to strike, you will not roar wildly. You will place the piece that changes every board. That placement is the work of mastery, not of fury. Fury only fuels posturing. Strategy wins in silence. Your language will shrink. Words are weapons. Treat them like such. Most men babble to feel safe. You will restrict speech until words have mass and consequence. Say less and do more. When you speak, let the sentence drop like an axe. People will begin to hang on the few statements you allow yourself. This scarcity increases gravity. Let scarcity be a policy, not to manipulate, but to defend. Your time and attention are currencies. Spend them on what compounds. You will be tempted to explain yourself. Never do it. Explanations are confessions. They admit that the validators outside still matter. If your work is right, it will speak. If not, your words cannot repair what action must. When the crowd demands your play-by-play, smile inwardly and work. The breath between claim and result will rise like a tide. Results drown rumors. Let them drown. Let reputation be a shadow that precedes you. Do not build a reputation on vanity. Build it on the quiet, devastating competence that causes doors to open and people to sit straighter when you enter. A reputation built on consistency survives scrutiny. Reputation is not the show. It is the root. Tend it daily. The smallest betrayals of your standards erode it. Do not trade it for comfort. The future respects those who have a track record of finishing what they begin. Turn scarcity into leverage. Make yourself less available and you make your presence more valuable. There is a primitive law. Availability breeds contempt. Scarcity breeds value. Appear when advantage requires it. Disappear when the movement calls for secrecy. Use absence as a test. Those who yearn for proximity will either prove loyalty or reveal their conditional affection. Choose accordingly. Do not be ostentatious about this. Clean strategy always reads like gravity. Cultivate a quiet moral ferocity. This is not about piety. It is about standards. Be merciless with laziness. Be compassionate toward growth. Be absolutely ruthless with betrayal and complacency. This is not cruelty. It is preservation. You owe your highest self the protection of strict codes. Codes keep chaos out. Codes return you to clarity when life clouds the map. Study people like one studies terrain. Learn to read the half-sentences, the pauses, the micro-expressions. Bodies translate truth before mouths do. Become a cartographer of motive. The more you see, the less you are surprised. The less surprised you are, the more you can make moves 10 steps ahead. You do not become cold by noticing patterns. You become clear. And clarity is the currency of strategy. Break your pride into usable parts. Pride fuels drive, but when untreated, it bloats into vanity. Convert pride into standards that demand excellence. Let pride carry you to the gym, to the book, to the practice field. Let it push you to keep promises. But keep pride tethered to productivity, not performance. Pride is best when it is private and dangerous, like a weapon kept clean for a necessary hour. Harden your imagination. Many men are imaginative in daydreams. Few are imaginative in methods. Design the future like a siege. Plan the steps, the logistical needs, the contingencies, the exits. Imagination without discipline is fantasy. Method without imagination is machine. Fuse both. Make a vision and then make methods that are savage in their simplicity. Complexity is an enemy if it masks sloppiness. Practice radical ownership. Everything that happens to you is a reflection of choices, sometimes obvious, sometimes invisible. Do not blame. Do not narrate. Own. Ownership is not guilt. It is muscle. When you own, you act. When you act, you change. Conversations that ask where the fault lies are less useful than statements that start with, "I will fix this." The universe always favors men who accept responsibility and then execute. Temptation will come in exquisite forms. Easier routes, charmers who promise introductions, shortcuts that taste like honey. Shortcuts kill slowly. They steal momentum. They train the nervous system to prefer receipts over craft. Reject them. Build the slow, deliberate path and watch your work become the rare fruit others cannot harvest without paying the price you already paid. Let your failures be public only as proof of lesson, not as pleas for sympathy. Fail and reset. Collect data, adjust, and keep your movements invisible until the pattern emerges as victory. The man who broadcasts every fall looks for solace. The man who processes privately and emerges with a new plan looks like destiny. This is the difference between the performative and the legendary. Master the art of tactical withdrawal. Retreat when the costs outstrip the returns. Withdrawal is not surrender. It is preparation. Use retreat to regroup, to tighten formations, to train harder, to re-emerge with a recalibrated vector. Many men treat retreat as shame. Use it as strategy. The best generals withdraw to strike where the enemy is weak. Build a voice of unshakable calm. When chaos hits, be the quiet center. Your presence will be the magnet that compels order. People are drawn to that stillness. Train your breath, control your tongue, and remain engaged without being consumed. Calm does not mean passive. It is action coordinated with clarity. It is the slow, heavy hand that remakes conflict into opportunity. Create an ecosystem that amplifies discipline. Foods that feed performance, people that heighten standards, routines that minimize friction, knowledge that compounds. Environment is not neutral. It shapes you. If you keep the cluttered apartment, the half-finished habits, the noisy peers, you keep the results that follow. Design every input with ruthless intent. Remove television that eats time without return. Remove friends who celebrate regression. Add mentors who refuse softness. Environment is the architecture of destiny. Turn your shame into propulsion. Shame has a dark gravity. It can bury or it can become thrust. Use it as leverage to build a new ethic. Rewrite the narrative of your past into study notes. Convert every humiliation into a schematic that reveals what must be done differently. This makes you invulnerable to accusation. You are learning, improving, and acting. Speak less, observe more, act with surgical intensity. Make each action compound on the last. Momentum becomes a weapon when small successes align with a relentless cadence. Reinforce the chain. One habit feeds the next. Momentum becomes a cyclone that pulls the world toward your orbit. Protect that chain. Do not let small indulgences break it. You will have allies and saboteurs. Learn to tell them apart by response to boundaries. Allies respect them. Saboteurs resent them. Keep the first. Eject the second without fanfare. Your circle is not a social badge. It is a strategic filter. The quality of those around you predicts the trajectory of your life. Choose accordingly. Keep a ledger, an internal book of brutal honesty, where you measure daily outputs, not excuses. Metrics are mercy. They allow you to see what works and what rots. Be data-driven about your rituals. If something does not move you forward, remove it. Experience without measurement is noise. Measurement without action is vanity. Combine both. Finally, become a quiet impossible. Become that man who is assumed limited until results reframe the entire assumption. The world loves to underestimate. Use that as camouflage. Work in shadow, then emerge with a reality that breaks their mental models. This is not deception for gain. It is strategic modesty that protects your life. Let their surprise be the wind that fills your sails. And when the final hour arrives, whether it is the hour of the boardroom, the ring, the stage, or the quiet bedroom where you face your reflection, stand like a man who has already rehearsed the moment. Have the discipline, the silence, the plans, the scars. The final hour is a culmination of countless small refusals to be small. It is the hour when everything you paid for comes due. So be relentless. Be unflinching. Be surgical. Be the man who, when tested by ordeal, does not break but unspools power. Calm, contained, inevitable. Let your life be proof. Make your silence loud. Rule your nights and own your days. Let others gossip as you build. Let critics be distant noise while you carve a body of results so heavy it shifts culture. This is the final urging. Do not be moderate in what you seek. Be monstrous in your dedication to craft. Be merciless in removing what does not serve. Be precise in your actions. Be cold when strategy calls for it. Be warm in the rare and sacred places that feed you. Be balanced by intention, not by accident. And in the end, when the storm has run its course and the world has adjusted to your gravity, you will stand in a quiet that is not empty but full. Full of consequence, purpose, and the echoes of choices kept. Others will speak your name like an answer to a problem they cannot articulate. You will not need to respond. Your life will have spoken loud enough. This is your final charge. Take this, every brutal and exultant piece of it, and convert it into habit. Make your body obey. Make your mind relent to no excuse. Become the force that history recalibrates around. Be absolute in your resolve. Be a man who makes the silence of others fertile with respect. Be a man who refuses smallness. Be unrelenting. Be unbreakable. Now move. Not because you are ready, but because readiness is the byproduct of movement. Act, each small, precise move, and watch the world bend in answer. And when it bends, don't pause. Don't look back. Don't wait for applause or understanding. Keep advancing with the cold certainty of a man who finally realizes that destiny is not something you receive. It's something you carve with unbearable consistency. Let your footsteps become a warning. Let your presence become a shift in the atmosphere. Walk as if every step is rewriting the laws that once confined you. And when the world finally recognizes what you've become, when it sees the discipline, the fire, the refusal to break, it will do what it has always done for the rarest kind of man. It will move aside. So go, with quiet violence, with relentless intention, with the authority of someone who has outgrown hesitation. Your future is not waiting. It is being built with every motion you dare to make. Move, and let everything else fall into place behind you.